and thank you so much for joining me for Scrappy Sunday. My name is Sharon Rogers, and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator from Wells, Maine, and this is my supervisor, Crash. Every Sunday, I like to bring you a project made with one of Stampin' Up's Scrapbooking Workshop Kits. I focus on one kit each month, and this month the focus was the Everyday You and Me kit. Now it's no longer available because it was on the last chance list and sold out. However, you can still get the designer series paper, the sticker sheet, the two-tone cardstock, and a coordinating stamp set and die bundle in my online store. You just can't get the little die cuts that came in the kit. So everything else is available, however. Today is the third Sunday, and so that means we are on layout number 3. I'm going to begin by preparing the die cuts for both of the pages. So we need one of these large flowers, and then we need a smaller flower, the same kind. We need one of the leaves, leafy branches. Those are those die cuts that we'll be using. And then on the other page, we're going to take one of the larger or more open leaves. We'll do that one. And we will also do this one. Looks like a little heart that we need. That doesn't look like that gets prepared with anything. It doesn't get any color. And then we need another big leafy thing with the flowers on it for right down here. And I think that may be all the ones that we need. So let's first prepare these. And you can see that we have lots of die cuts left over for making cards, so we can use a bunch of these next week, which will be great. All right, so I'm gonna ink this up. We get a piece of scrap paper, even though the color I'm using is pretty much the same as my desk mat. And what I'm gonna do is, let's look at these pieces and see what gets the most color. So it looks like the flower parts get the color here. So these become kind of two-toned. Same thing here, and I'm just using one of my little brushes. So I have a little bit more concentrated area that I can be working with. We'll just add some color to those berry areas. See, add a little bit more. Put some in there. There we go. So there's that. And then this little guy, he's going to get some of this as well. So I'm just using some circular motions and adding color. All right. And as I mentioned, that heart doesn't really get anything. So I'm just going to put those up at the top. And then if you look at the directions on this page, it looks like one of these may get just a slight brushing of color, and the other one gets a lot. The larger one gets a lot. So we'll start with that. I don't know if this other one gets it at all, but we're just going to give it a little bit. Just tie it in a little bit better. And same thing with this little piece. Just a little bit. Okay. So we're done with that. I'm going to set that aside as well. If I go in and look at my directions, first thing I'm going to look for is there a place where it says tip? Because that's usually what I ignore and regret afterwards. So oftentimes that comes when they want to slip something under the bottom of a picture. And so that doesn't appear to be the case in this in this project, I've gone ahead and all the pieces that I cut, and I labeled them. So this is 3A, this is 3B. I put them in order so that they'd be easy to grab. And it says, I want to adhere 3A, B, and C to the patterned paper base page. So this patterned paper that we see, it looks like it's kind of what they would call a bracket cutout, but it's not. The patterned paper is this full paper right here. And then we're going to have, this is actually the bracket overlay. So on this first page, this is the part we're going to put over the top of the DSP, just like that. All right, so if I were to just take, I'm just going to take these two pieces here because I know I'll need them both. Let's get the rest of it out of the way. I'm going to attach 3A, B, and C. So 3A, and we'll need this a little bit later, 3A, 3B, oops, let's put the vines going up, leaves, and then 3C. And they all are butted right up against each other, and it tells me down here that the bottom of this is 1.5 inches from the bottom of this designer series paper. I'm going to get out my ruler. And do you need to use the ruler? No, but here's why I want to use the ruler. I want to make sure that everything is going to be seen nicely once I put that overlay on it. Let me go ahead and get this back out. Here's 1.5. So I just need to move this up a little bit. Just like that. That's about right. Let me just go make sure it's about 1.5 inches. Oops, it needs to come up a little bit over here. I do want to make sure that it's not crooked. Let's see. 1.5 inches. That's pretty good. Just a tad bit down there. There we go. And then because these butt right up against, that's easy to do. I'm just gonna go right like this. Feel it land right next to it. And then I've got one more. And that also goes right to the top. Okay, so that was pretty easy. Now attach the bracket frame overlay die cut. So that is this, and one side is printed. So I want the printed side showing. We're gonna just put some adhesive in some of these bigger areas. And you can see that this says Project 3, because remember our die cuts are labeled. And we're just gonna line up these corners here so we get everything on straight. And coax these back into place. There we go. Oop. A little crooked right here. So let's get it going right. Fortunately, this is Stamp and Seal, not Seal Plus. I do suggest that you do something that's going to allow you to reposition as you need to. All right, now this will be in a holder, a sleeve, so it'll be fine. And now adhere 3D and 3E and adhere photos to them. So 3D is this piece right here, and it's on the light side that we're supposed to, because I always write on the side we're not going to use. And 3E is going to go right beside it. So 3D comes 2 inches in from the left and 2 inches down from the top. All right, ruler. 2 inches in. I'm just going to make a little pencil mark here. 2 inches in. I'm going to put it just on the inside of the 2 inches. And then it was 2 inches from the top as well. And again, I'm going to put it just on the inside. So this is going to go just about like that, right there. Let me see if this is straight. It looks a little crooked to me. Yeah, it's pretty crooked. So let's see. Oh, it needs to come over a little bit, but that bracket's messing with my head. So there's 2 inches. There's 2 inches. Yeah, that's pretty good. And then this other one is just a little bit away from the other one. So that one's going to be fairly easy to do. I'm just going to put this right about here, I'd say. Okay. And then it says embellish with die cuts and stickers. So now it's just embellishing. So they used the you and me. And I like the you and me. I think I'm going to, Father's Day is coming up, and I think I might use this for that. So let's get out our stickers. So here we have the you and me. And let's go ahead and put that kind of in the center here. That's about right, I'd say. And then we want to put these guys on, and I'm going to put these guys on with glue because glue is a little bit sturdier. Ooh, that is way too much glue. I've got a new bottle, and it came out very fast. So let me take a piece of scrap. This is just from my scrap bin. Well, not even my scrap bin, it's my trash bin. And I'm going to just kind of help spread it out a little bit. All right. Let me go easy on my squeezing. Okay. So we'll put this out here like that. And then we're going to put the other one. What did I do with the other one? Right here. We're going to put this other one over it so that they overlap a little bit. Could also use some glue dots here. I have a lot of those too. Might be easier. Started with glue. So I'm going to finish with glue. Let's go like right like this, I guess. I'm just going to hold that for a second. Oh, hopefully I'm not working too far off the page. All right. I want to get some of my die cuts out. So they've used one of those big leaves. So I can get one of the big leaves out. And it says Project 3 on it. So that's going to come over here. And I'm not going to put adhesive underneath these tips because they go over the photo. And then I need just one more sticker. And that is this sticker right here. So let's go ahead and we'll put this leaf down. Remember, I want to avoid the tops of those other ones. So we're going to do something that looks just like, let's angle it a little bit. Something that looks like that. Doesn't have to be perfect. Hide a lot of it with stickers and other things. Oop, we need this. Is it this little guy? No, it's another one. It's this. Nope, not this one either. Hold on, where'd he go? There he is. Here he is, this one right here. This guy's gonna go right under here, kind of overlapping those leaves. So let's put on a little bit of adhesive. I don't want to get too gluey, but I do need some. And we're gonna just stick that right under there. And there we go. And that is the first of the 2-page spreads. All right, now bringing in the right page directions, we're going to adhere the large bracket die cut to the patterned paper base page. Now notice there's a little tip here. So when I get to step 3, before I should need to read that first. But up here on number 1, I'm okay. Adhere the bracket. So what was left over was this piece right here. So we're basically going to reverse what the other page looked like. We're going to adhere this together. Okay. We'll center this as best we can here. That looks to be pretty good, I think. Okay, and we're going to adhere 3F, and 3F is this piece right here. And it says it needs to be 3 inches down from the top and 1 3/4 inches in. So 3 down and 1 3/4 inches in. And again, you can make it yours. I just happen to want them to do the work for me, so I'm going to. So if I were to mark 1 3/4 inches in, 1 3/4 inches in is here. I'm going to mark a little bit to the right just so I can hide that pencil mark. And I want to go 3 inches down. So we'll put my ruler up there. 3 inches down is right here. Let's see, let's go ahead. Let's go near this, just like that. Let's get straight. Okay, that looks good. Now we're at step number 3. Do not use adhesive on the top right corner of 3G. So 3G is this piece right here. This is our Lost Lagoon mat, and we're going to use the light side. And it said, don't put adhesive on the top right corner. So if this is the top right corner, I'm not going to put adhesive there, so I can put adhesive everywhere else, maybe even in the middle. All right. And I don't have a photo, so I'm not going to adhere the photo to it yet, but it says this needs to be 2.5 inches down from the top and 3 3/4 in from the side. So 2.5 from the top is going to be just, well, you know what? I'm going to be able to cover up some of this with another sticker like that. And then we want it to be 3 3/4 inch in from the side. And this is a portrait. So 3 3/4. And let me lift this up a little bit. 3 3/4. So it's going to go about there. 3 3/4. Yeah, just like that. Make sure that looks vertical. That's good. All right, and now we're going to embellish with die cuts and stickers. Place some of these slightly behind 3G, and that's why we weren't putting this down with adhesive. So what they use is something that says, I don't know what that says, so I'm going to get this out to see what, oh, it says loving this. So they put that right over here. And something like this. So it almost looks like it's a little tab folder, but it does extend beyond it. And then they included this little guy. Oh, I got nice glue spot areas right there. bit down here too. Okay, so this guy is going to come right off this corner, go right up like that. And then this guy is going to come right down next to that. Do something that looks like that. And you don't have to do glue everywhere. In fact, it's better if you don't, because you won't get your hands all gluey. You still may get them a little gluey, but not too gluey. And then we have this little heart that we're going to put up here. Instead of putting glue on the heart, which is very tiny to hold, I'm just going to put a little dot of glue right there and stick it on. That'll be the easiest way to get that on there. There we go. And then they used this as something, ooh, I don't know that I want to use this yet. I don't want to use this because it goes over the picture slightly. So because it's got sticker all on it, what I'm going to do is what I did last week. I'm going to say, I'm going to point, and that goes to number 3. That way, next week, when I am using some of these things, I don't grab it by mistake. All right, and the other things that get used on this page are the pretty little daisies here. So we'll pop those out. These are just die cuts. They're not stickers. All right, and they have a center that comes out. So there's 3 of them, as you can see on that layout. All right, there's those 3. These are supposed to get used on this page too, or at least one of them. Looks like they both say Project 3, but there was only one of them on the other one. So I think they just give you an extra one just in case. Because, you know, things happen. Let's see which one comes out more easily. This one does. So that's the one I'm going to use. All right. And you can see that these just kind of get adhered. Looks like the largest one comes over here. And then we've got the middle one that kind of comes down here, and they overlap. And then we've got this one. And we're not going to put adhesive at the very ends of those petals because it overlaps the photos. So we'll just, how about we just do it on the ring? And since I've got glue out, I'll just keep the glue out. Probably easier to apply on this one anyway. So we will take this and we'll flip it over. And it looks like that one just kind of comes here and kind of comes right here. That looks pretty good. Then we're going to take the next one, do the same thing. And that one's just going to come over, overlap here a little bit, kind of come down. I'm going to come up over by the photo. And then this one, we've got the same thing. Just put a little bit of adhesive there. Must be warm in my craft room because my adhesive is really, really runny today. All right, so let's do that. It's a little bit higher. Not much, just a little bit higher. All right, now on this one, we also have this leaf that's got to come out of it. And it is going to overlap that sticker that we're going to put here. So I'm just going to put a little bit of adhesive on some of these other parts. In fact, not that part, because that part's on the top. Let's put it on the bottom. So we're going to come down here, I think, and just kind of let that go, something like that. All right, I've got a little adhesive right there. I'll take that off with an adhesive remover. I'm just gonna let that dry for just a second. And then we wanna put this guy in here as well. And this is gonna come right like this. All right. And remember, we've got something coming over here, but we also have some stickers that are gonna go in here. So we've got this heart sticker that goes here. And we've got a rose sticker that goes here. I love this color combination. It's so pretty. Let's see, I'm supposed to have another heart one, but it's in the wrong color. It's actually showing that it's in, oh, maybe this one's larger. This one is larger, so it goes there. Interesting. They've changed the colors. In fact, I don't want these two together. So let's see. We do have a heart one here that's in a different color. I mean a rose one. Let's put that one here. Right like that. There we go. Now we've got this. All right, that's better. I can live with that right there. Okay. And that seems to be it, with the exception of that journaling piece and my photo. And so there we have it, layout number 3. Thank you so much for joining us today. I hope that you will be able to take either the layout or the color combinations or some other ideas and incorporate them into your own paper crafting projects. If you look in the description of this video, you will find a link to my online store where you can find the sticker and designer series paper option, but from there you can also expand that and just do a search in my online store for Everyday You and Me and find some of the other products that are still left over from this kit, even though the kit itself is not available. Have a great week, everybody. Next week, I will be creating 2 card projects using leftovers from this kit. I hope you'll join me.